But here, I want again to zero on the partnership that we want to work together between banks and national housing. We are the developers. We've identified the projects. And we are saying tonight, if we could start thinking about how we can work together, then it will give you a win-win situation where you can have an access from corporate lending to retail lending. We will be looking to have a triangle relationship, but not only limited to this triangle relationship. Where you are able to lend the money to national housing will be able to construct houses that can be sold to buyers, and these buyers, they will be seeking the mortgage financing from your end. But as we saw, this gives you a much more secure position. One more thing that I want to mention tonight. I know some of the people, despite of the legal framework that has changed, some of the people still may be concerned that this legal framework hasn't been tested. My appeal to you, you'll never know the temperature of water until you press your finger in. However, we are saying we are willing, and I'll repeat this, we are willing to work with the banks and they assure you and they guarantee you that we will buy back the houses that will fall, will come out of defaulters. But that we will undertake on one-to-one relationship with the respective banks. However, let me mention one more thing, but that doesn't come as a free lunch. We will determine or predetermine the discounting rate. Now, it may be on a T-bond, it may be on our internal rate of return, so it doesn't come as a free lunch, to be honest. But however, it gives you a comfort and it gets you maybe out of a hassle of going out and negotiating with the different brokers, because maybe the framework is not good enough. We believe also by us doing that, we'll be supporting the secondary market of houses, which is very critical as well to come. Of course, our challenge is to address the primary market. So I wanted bankers to be in peace that if you go and support the people who are buying our houses, we can have that arrangement. Of course, like any discounting money, it has a little bit of a cost. As you will be going to Central Bank today to borrow money as a last resort, because you will want to come in as a last resort. Now, you may not be able to see this slide. It's a little bit too busy. But the figures that are coming here, I have assets on one side, and I have loans and advances on the other side. Again, as of December, as a banking industry had a total asset of about 11.5 trillion. And the loans and advances were only 5 trillion. And therefore making an average of about 40% or 45% loan deposit ratio, loan asset ratio. But we are saying the rest can easily be accommodated if we are to push on a housing sector. Because we saw the number. The number, if we are to do just the 1 year demand, fulfill it, we are not able to fulfill it. It's more than the size of the banking industry. Again, this is another business slide. As I'm sending to you, you'll be able to see these numbers. The other slide, I was showing some of the some names of the banks appearing. I apologize, but again, there's a public information because I was speaking from the numbers you are publishing. But on this one, it shows the pink. I'm very poor in color. I'm blind in color. But the pink color shows the supply, the demand for T-bonds or for government papers. And the other color is actually what you bought. And as of today, we are talking about 2.5 trillion shillings that are sitting in government securities. What we are appealing to you is, can we divert a little bit of that? Just make it $500 billion out or 1 trillion out. This economy will move. Housing sometimes don't have a season. When there's a rain season or there's a drought, someone must sleep there. But most important, I'm saying, let's support the initiative that has been done by the government. I mean, from the old time when there was a liberalization of the banking sector, starting from only 4 banks, which were all state-owned, to a situation where you have more than 40 banks today. But also we've seen the government efforts where there was a review of 2004 Land Act that covered the mortgage financing. For the first time in record, the government was able to put the regulation, they passed the law and they do the regulation in less than 1 year, because there was such a commitment. Condominium laws have been put in place. There has been a restructuring in the Ministry of Land, especially on the title registry section and the decentralization of power for Commission for Land. And most important, for the first time now, we've had a full-fledged housing directorate within the ministry. I hope one day we'll have a full Ministry of Housing. There is a reform that is going on social security, and now we have a regulator, and that is aimed also at making sure that the pension funds are able to play right and utilize that right their resources of long-term financing. There has been a mortgage liquidity facility in place. The macroeconomies, as I've said, they'll be all stable and predictable. The most important is to have something that is predictable. And I'm saying, with all those challenges that we have, with all those opportunities that we've seen, then there's something that we should aim to work together and to address the challenge of affordable housing. I'm saying there's the housing financing. We see the 2 banks are doing it, but the housing supplies is still a problem. And as players will try to find the appropriate technology, make sure that there's awareness of the new laws which are set in place, and make sure that most people are able to come and borrow, and make sure that they know their obligation of borrowing. I know this, yes, we are aware of the global financial crisis that happened, but I have a question that I always ask myself: should we shy away? I always say no. This must be my friend, Mr. Bush. You can identify who is he. Can you be able to identify? I'll do a prize for that. But I'm saying, if you look on the OECD's economy and look on our Tanzania economy, we are not on the same league. Tanzania economy, mortgage financing is not even 1%. It's less than 1%. These people had their mortgage debt obligation at an excess of 60%, 70%, some of them. And you're talking of a big economy. And that's why when there was a problem, they all went almost under. And I'm saying the environment is much, much different in Tanzania. So I'm saying let's join on the sail on this safer sea and clean water. And we want to tell you that we've already put our house in order. We've tried to put in place the right projects that can be attractive and with the stronger cash flows. We think that it gives bankers a much safer and a secure ground to lend on a mortgage financing. We think the government, the commitment from the government and the political will this time around, from top level to bottom line, is very strong, especially when it comes to housing. And I can assure you that